Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. They say learning come in repetition. You hear me? So if we hear it enough, it'll be implanted, it'll be rooted, it'll be grounded, and then it can take blossom and unfold into something. You hear me? I hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all, radiating, operating, vibrating, emanating, and exuding the highest version and best version of yourself at this particular time. As for me, I'm doing the same. Feeling good for no reason at all, because feeling good is feeling God. You hear me? Whatever you may know that as. We got a 3-part reading today, but I'm going to say a few things before I begin. We all don't heard it before. At least I would assume the world is a stage and everybody play a part. But what does that mean to you? The world is a stage and everybody play a part. What does that mean to you? See, at one point in my life, I thought it was just something that sounded slick, that sounded sporty, you know, or any of those other words that would equate in that category. But in reality, through experience, through living, through different situations and different circumstances, that phrase, the world is a stage and everybody play a part, began to mean a lot more to me. See, because we don't get no redos in real life. You ever played a video game and you know when they usually give you 3 lives in the video game, and when those 3 lives run out, that's it. And then it give you an opportunity, you know, to continue the game, but you got to put another quarter in. See, in real life, we don't get no redos. They don't operate like that. You hear me? So we're going to have to get it done while we here. You heard? If you don't listen, you're going to miss it. In other words, family, it's on us to work with and work through how life give us these experiences, how life give us these opportunities through the experiences that we have as we serve ourselves the lessons through what we experience. What that means is to get out the exile and into the exodus, we got to get on the other side of the brain. So as we move through the levels of life, as we move through the levels of ourself, as we move through the levels of consciousness to Christ ourselves, I'm gonna be a spark plug to somebody today. You hear me? It's an honor to be here, and my name is Sawu. Salute to the Cosmic Consciousness Soul Control family and Soul Tribe. Salute to the new subscribers. Salute to the peekaboos and passerbys when you find yourself coming through. You hear me? We all count. The world is a stage and everybody play a part. But what does that mean to you? See, I know what the exile feel like, or feeling exile feel like, and I also know what it feels like to journey through the Exodus. And that's gonna be the first part of this 3-part read today. You hear me? Exodus. Exodus from the Greek meaning to exit, departure, going out, decease. You hear me? The second book of the Pentateuch, and the second book of our Bible, it is supposed to have been written by Moses. But authorities disagree on this. We ain't gonna wrestle with what they wrestling with, you hear me? It is called Exodus because it deals with the children of Israel's leaving or departing or going out of Egypt. We talk about consciousness, keep that in mind. Metaphysically meaning, the metaphysical meaning of Exodus is as follows. Exodus refers to the deliverance of man's highest religious and spiritual thoughts from the obscurity, from the darkness, and from the ignorance of the Egyptian consciousness or mind of the flesh. We make our exodus when we die to error and are born anew to righteousness in Christ consciousness. Exodus. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Now we're going from Exodus to Egypt and then to Egyptians. You hear me? Egyptian. Greek, a Copt from the Hebrew word Mizraim, which means shut in, restraint, misery, tribulation, distress. So if we reflect on what Exodus just said and what the term Egyptian, what I just read from Egyptian, we see why the purpose of the Exodus was necessary for the children of Israel. Natives or inhabitants of Egypt, descendants of Mizraim or son of Ham. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 11. The metaphysical meaning of Egyptians is as follows. Egyptians signify sense thoughts or thoughts that pertain to the subjective consciousness in its unawakened state. They belong to the Egypt consciousness. It's funny how you can see this. It's funny how you can see this on people. Egypt. Remember I said we gotta get from out of exile into the Exodus. And in order to do that, we gotta go through Egypt. Egypt, Greek, Coptic land from the Hebrew name Mizraim, which means shut in, restraint, misery, tribulation, distress. You're only doing good when you don't feel bad about yourself. A country in the northeast of Africa where the Israelites were held in bondage for many years. Now, we ain't got to be in the northeast of Africa to be held in bondage for many years, Israelite or not, regardless of what you call yourself. You ain't got to be in the northeast of Africa where the Israelites were held in bondage for many years. It's a lot of people ain't never been to Israel, and right here in America, been held in bondage for many years. I hope I could be a spark plug to somebody someday. References for what I just read is Genesis chapter 12:10, chapter 37:28, chapter 42, verse 1, to end of Exodus 14. Yahshua was taken into Egypt when it bade to save him from Herod. Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. The metaphysical meaning of Egypt is as follows. The realm of substance and life in the depths of the body consciousness. To the unregenerate soul, it is the land of darkness and mystery, because you got to go there. You got to tap into it. Yet it is essential to the perpetuation of the body. Egypt signifies the darkness of ignorance, obscurity. It has a special significance in the body consciousness, and we often think of it as referring to the subjective or subconscious mind. We also refer to Egypt as the flesh consciousness, sense consciousness, or material consciousness. So you could dress, we could dress however we like, but it don't change the character. You hear me? This hidden realm within our organism is in an Egyptian or obscure state to most of us. Yet it is a great kingdom, and its king is Pharaoh, ruler of the sun, or that brain and nerve center, which our physiologists have correctly named the solar plexus. See, all these things is within the organism that we call a body, and works through consciousness. We also refer to Egypt as the flesh consciousness, sense consciousness, or material consciousness, I repeat. This hidden realm within our organism is in an Egyptian or obscure state to most of us. Yet it is a great kingdom, and its king is Pharaoh, ruler of the sun, or that brain nerve center, which our physiologists have correctly named the solar plexus. They tell us that this is the brain of the body, and that it directs the circulation, digestion, assimilation, and so forth. It's the I do center. Students of mine have discovered that the solar plexus is but the organ through which a ruling thought acts. And this ruling thought is typified by Pharaoh, solar plexus. He of the hard heart, who would not let my people go. But we should not forget that it is down in Egypt that we find the grain or substance required to sustain a man. As within, so without. Pay attention from a higher view, from a broader perspective. to overindulge cause bondage. Now, this ain't in the book. It's just what I'm led to share with y'all. But we should not forget that it is down in Egypt that we find the grain or substance required to sustain man. But remember, overindulgence is bondage. Many workers in truth think that it is useless to go into this obscure kingdom within each man. They are not willing that Joseph shall spend a part of his time down in Egypt, making ready the storehouses and filling them with the vitality that will be needed when the outer man has exhausted his resources. These will find that they cannot have the joyous reunion of mind and body with all its brothers or faculties as set forth in Genesis 42 to 46. Unless they are willing to let the higher thought go consciously down into Egypt and rule their second to King Pharaoh himself. Physically, Egypt typifies that part of the body below the diaphragm. The various plagues brought upon the Egyptians by the Lord through Moses are symbolical representations of what occurs in this part of the organism when the presiding intelligence, or Pharaoh, opposes the influx of the higher life. You ever go against something that you knew would help you, but you still decided to go against it? Did you feel better for it or worse? Parallels to the bloody waters, frogs, lice, flies, murrain, boils, hell, locusts, darkness, and death of firstborn may all be found in the various diseases of bowels, kidneys, and other organs of the body as named by doctors. A very large number of these ills result from mental resistance. A very large number of these ills result from mental resistance to spiritual consciousness, which is working widely in humanity. The spiritual man, the true ego, the higher self, is the only rightful heir to the divine inheritance, spiritual consciousness. We as individuals must awake from the dream of mortality, leave Egypt or the flesh consciousness forever, cross the Red Sea, which is the boundary line where we sacrifice every tie that binds us to the past. Thence, go through the wilderness, which is a transitory state. You got to go through the woods to see the forest. You hear me? Sometimes you got to step out it so you can see the trees. You don't listen, you're gonna miss it. Thence go through the wilderness, which is a transitory state, through the waters of the Jordan, which is the boundary line between the transitional and the permanent, and plant our feet on Canaan's land, our inheritance. One step, we have 31 kings usurping thought forces to conquer before we can peaceably settle down in our inheritance. But Christ, the captain of the army of the Lord of hosts, meets us, is revealed to our conscious thought on Canaan's shore and directs our battles. Truth becomes an active, irresistible power. Truth becomes an active, irresistible power. And if you got it in you, you already know. You hear me? And if you don't, then you already know. When the spiritual man awakens and finds that he is the possessor of the divine germ, when the spiritual man awakens and finds that he is the possessor, you are the possessor of the divine germ, the word of truth, he begins at once to make use of it. You got to use it or you're going to lose it. The result is an influx of light. Mortality, which is synonymous with darkness, begins to fade from conscious thought. As this light increases, mortality decreases. As the light increases, mortality decreases. Until, as Paul says, mortality is swallowed up in immortality. Death is swallowed up in victory. 1 Corinthians 15, 53, 54. That concludes the reading for the day, family. It was short and sweet. Stillness, abundance, love, light, health, and wholeness. Once again, hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all. Once again. I'm thinking of an emoji that we can do for the day. Cosmic Conscience, put an egg, put a nest, put a nest. Cosmic Conscience, Family and Soul Tribe. Put a nest in the comment section for the emoji for the day. New subscribers, I do raffles at the end of the month. Peekaboos and passerbys, if you haven't subscribed, in order to be submitted for the raffle at the end of the month, you must be subscribed. I can't overlook the family, those who come in every day, be consistent when they do tap in, and been a part of what's been going on over here. I will not overlook them for somebody just coming through and dropping your emoji in the comment section. You know, it's only fair, and I believe in being fair. So if you want to be submitted for the raffle, please be subscribed. Place as the sign says, place the emoji in the comment section. It's simple as that. I don't ask for much. You hear me? Other than that, feel good for no reason at all. Feeling good is feeling God. And once again, put your nest in the comment section. Nest or egg, either one. You hear me? And remember, in this star system, everybody can shine. You hear me? Cosmic Consciousness is a constellation where everybody can shine, because a constellation consists of many stars. It's an honor to be here, and my name is Sawu. Thanks for the likes, shares, new subscribers, even the visitors, offerings, donations, love and support, peace, Sawus, all of that good stuff. You hear me? I appreciate it, and I appreciate y'all who appreciate me. Keep coming back. Consistency is key. You hear me? And we will grow together. If you never heard me say it before, I'm gonna say it again. We're gonna finish this one way better than we appear. My name is Sawu. Love y'all, family.